Which would you rather be, the town mouse or the countryside mouse? That's the question Reze poses to Denji, but the idea that either of them truly have a choice is an illusion. That illusion, the belief that we control our own path, is the cruel truth at the center of Reze arc, and the thought I left the theater turning over in my mind. The intent of this video is to break down the original fable of the two mice, exploring how Chainsawman flips that very story's moral on its head, and what that says about life and the world the characters and we live in. Together, we'll look deeper into how this timeless motif of chaos and peace is reimagined in modern storytelling. I won't be using clips from the movie since it's still in theaters, but fair warning, spoilers are ahead for Reze's arc. I will not, however, be discussing anything beyond that. So with that said, let's get to the origin of the mouse story. The fable of the town mouse and the country mouse originates from the tales of an ancient Greek slave known as Aesop. His story contrasts the polarized worlds of rural simplicity and urban luxury, but it's posed in a distinctly biased way. The town offers opportunity and promise, yet carries the risk of danger, represented by the cat that hunts the town mice. The countryside, on the other hand, offers peace and safety, but lacks the abundance and excitement of the city. This framing makes the original moral clear. A life of excess invites peril, and it's better to be content with less. But that message has always felt incomplete to me, and it's not how we see it play out in Chainsaw Man. The town mouse's lifestyle isn't bad simply because it's more dangerous. He values experience and opportunity more than stability. Likewise, the country mouse's peace isn't truly free of threat. He faces the risk of an untimely death as well, just at lower odds. Which means the fable is pushing this illusion of safety and contentment, which ignores the dangers quietly creeping in. The real problem lies in the tale's narrow framing, presenting the country mouse's modest life as morally superior, when in truth it's a question of risk tolerance and desire. But because these fables were more than just entertainment, the fate of the mice carries an agenda. The bias in Aesop's moral reflects the world this story was born from. Ancient Greece was an agrarian society, meaning its backbone was built on farmers and agricultural production. Society's stability depended on people staying within their roles. Moving upward or abandoning the life of farming could disrupt that balance if done in mass. So these fables that preached order, humility, and contentment weren't just stories, they were a type of social reinforcement. In a world where ambition can threaten the structure of society, aspiration itself is dangerous. It was always safer, always easier to accept one's place and not dream beyond the borders of one's bubble. But in this modern age, the world has become too connected to ignore. The countryside mouse can no longer live untouched. The outside world seeps into its quiet bubble, stretching its walls until they inevitably burst. The simple life he once represented is slowly disappearing, and so a new question emerges. Is the countryside truly at peace, or is that peace an illusion which will lead to its downfall? This is where the fable evolves, entering the modern world. Its meaning has a transformation. The countryside mouse no longer represents a physical place. It becomes an idea, a life of peace, living simply and within one's natural means, free from the constant struggle for more. In many ways, Reze embodies this ideology, dreaming of school, part-time work, love, and dates. While she does use these ordinary concepts as a cover to get close to Denji, it's clear that she genuinely desires what they represent, a simple, stable life. The town mouse, by contrast, represents a life driven by ambition, pleasure, and the pursuit of more. Striving for a better life beyond your current isn't inherently wrong, but it can appear restless or even arrogant. Denji throws himself recklessly into that pursuit, constantly shifting the bar for what he wants to achieve. This doesn't make him a complete fool, though it can be hard to defend him at times. It's simply a reflection of who he is and how he seeks meaning in the chaos around him. While both Reze and Denji have endured horrific experiences that shaped who they are, Their desires diverge because of their personalities. Reze responded to her trauma by dreaming of an out. Denji never dreamed of an out, but dreamed of what he could achieve within it. The girl truly meant it when she asked Denji to run away to a safe place beyond the urban sprawl. But Denji's priorities lie elsewhere. He has found meaning in Tokyo, in his co-workers, his work, and the small luxuries that come with it. If we pause for a moment and set aside our own values and judgment, it becomes clear that neither lifestyle choice is inherently better than the other. Both have their benefits and their drawbacks. Reze's dreams of the peaceful countryside allow her to endure, and they tell us that she doesn't want to play a bigger role in the story. She doesn't want to risk losing what she has found. Denji, by contrast, doesn't worry if his choices lead to morally complex outcomes or leads to loss. He just does what must be done to obtain the reward, living for satisfaction and possibilities. This is why in the beginning, when first asked to run away with Reze, he declines. He seeks to hold on to what he could possibly gain from his role, as well as continue the peaceful times with Reze. But he can't have both. He can't live the life of the countryside mouse and the town mouse simultaneously. But that's the thing about fables. A person can't be constrained to a single identity. We ebb and flow between the roles and ideas represented in this tale. Reze wishes to leave her role behind in pursuit of the normalcy the countryside mouse speaks of favoring, but this ambition and desire for something outside one's given role is more in line with the town mouse of the original fable. Despite the risk, she pursues possibility. The fable becomes more complex, in this case, than likely anticipated when thought up in ancient Greece. Today, people have far more freedom to shape their lives, moving up, down, or sideways throughout society. Denji and Reze were born into roles beyond their control. Reze as an assassin, Denji as a Yakuza asset turned tool of the ministry, but they can choose to obey their place or resist it. This flips our initial perspective. Denji becomes the countryside mouse, content with his circumstances, while Reze embodies ambition and desire. So the choice they become left with is, will they challenge the Aesop moral to accept one's current position? Their situation is complex. Like reality often is, it's never a simple choice between wanting the life of a town mouse or country mouse. We are all mice born in different burrows. Some of us crave calm, others are drawn to activity. Some may like the burrow they were born into, others may crave something new. Risk may be worth it in one situation, but in another, caution rules. Denji and Reze are different people with different desires, yet they are also alike. Both navigating the same world, both vulnerable, both seeking their version of survival. The issue arises between them when their priorities don't align. Reze is left disappointed by Denji's decision not to run away, setting the stage for the second half of the arc. Yet despite all that happens between them, Denji eventually reconsiders. Why? It would seem between her attempts in trying to kill him, he came to realize that for them to continue spending time together, they have to leave this world they've become wrapped in of violence and control. He may realize that she only tried to kill him because he refused to make the leap with her in departing to a life where they aren't pulled on strings. After Denji chooses to spare her, he flips the question. He asks Reze to run away with him in pursuit of a quieter life. Reze at first acts as if her ambition of love and normalcy is behind her, yet she heads to the spot the boys said he would be waiting for her anyway. In the end, she chose connection and desire, rather than simply drowning in complacency for the present. But a power beyond her control prevents her from achieving her dream. Just as the town mouse too, in pursuit of his dreams and ambitions, faced the threat of losing everything. Denji and Reze are both just mice. Their extent of freedom is contained in a limited domain. The powers that hold authority construct limits, allow choice, reign over the mice. It is a force that wields both chaos and order as weapons, a force known as control. And this cat lingers within their world, reminding them that freedom is never absolute. In the fable, the cat represents the mice's greatest fear, lack of control. The story confines the cat to the town, but in reality, The world has no border to protect the countryside. What stops the cat from expanding its domain to encompass the mice that reside here? What stops the countryside mouse from losing the peace it speaks so highly of? The answer is a whim. The mouse is only safe because the cat allows it to be, for now. Think of freedom as conditional, because no matter where you are in this world, there are limits to your freedom. And for some of you, there are more than others. The level of freedom one is offered is like a box. When Reze dreams of drifting from this box, she is allowed to play around in. When she acts outside her role as Denji's assassin, instead wanting to run away with him, she is punished by the true authoritative figure of their world, Makima. Whether town or countryside, resisting your assigned role invites its wrath. Resisting control only shrinks one's box. Makima's comment about watching dogs hunt countryside mice in the winter fields tells us a lot about her perception of the world. To her, the countryside mice are simply ignorant of their own dangers. They believe they are safe, that their homes, unlike the city, carry little risk, but this allows them to be easy targets. She claims to like countryside mice because they are easy to control. They're gullible. From the perspective of the cat, the countryside mouse represents ignorance of reality, a naivety shared by both Denji and Reze, the belief that they can leave the boxes control put them in. In this sense, a character like Kishibe truly embodies the town mouse, Makima's greatest challenge as someone who seeks to control outcomes. Kishibe is cynical, wary of the system, and cautious of connection. One becomes harder to control when they are aware of the cat's intentions. Because the town mouse understands that the cat seeks to kill it, it can better evade danger, unlike the countryside mouse, who lacks such understanding of the cat's tactics. But in a world where the cat and mouse share the same skin, that caution comes at a cost: loneliness. To avoid such deceit, humans often must detach themselves from connection. Survival demands sacrifice, giving up intimacy, abandoning desires, and doing whatever is necessary to avoid the cat's wrath. Yet if we surrender something as vital as human connection, are we truly surviving or merely existing as hollow shells of humanity? So what does this all mean? It can be a bit of a headache to digest because the meaning behind the town and countryside mice seems to constantly shift and evolve based on different interpretations for what they represent. And that's purely because despite both being fictional stories, the characters of Chainsawman aren't flat like the mice of the Fable. That is intentional. They act like real people, full of contradictions, capable of change, and often motivated by conflicting forces. In the end, the point of the mice was to provide us simple right and wrong. Reze's arc challenges the moral absolutism the original Fable pushed. Denji and Reze cannot be neatly categorized. They dream, they fear loss, and while Makima may attempt to control them like pieces on a chessboard, she too can never fully understand them, never fully hold their reins. One misstep can undo her advantage. The cat may hold the lives of the mice in its hands, but the mice can still subvert its expectations and liberate themselves from control. Many of us are the mice of the world, and we try to balance the town and countryside values that are within all of us. Some may believe they possess the power of the cat, that they can control fate, but they are often no more than a sheep in wolf's clothing. The cat is a facade created to instill despair and convince us that we cannot change our destiny, but we often can. Allow the town mouse within you to show a little ambition, to guide you towards your dreams, but do not lose sight of the peace and simplicity the countryside mouse reminds you of. There's a balance that allows pursuit of happiness and greater things, while also acknowledging your roots and the risk and danger ambition may pose. Lose sight of the two mice within you, and you'll either end up under the influence of a higher authority, or as an arrogant town mouse, imagining yourself to be a cat.